there's kind of the difficult person and maybe they hijacked, like we all automatically have this vision of somebody, right? Maybe it's a family member or a friend that hijacks an event or can be just changes the whole vibe by being negative. Anyone want to share a story? Well, everyone knows that person, right? Whether or not they want to share.
If you know it's going to be a problem, maybe avoid
Yeah,
social situation with these people.
avoiding is good.
It's
We want to hear some dirt. I'm going to start off because I have one sister that can be very reactive and overreactive as well. And usually she does get stressed when everybody gets together. She will scratch herself raw with being anxious about everyone getting together. And at times when she feels she's out of control, she lashes out. And we all kind of know that. We all kind of know that. And sometimes we walk around on eggshells when we're all together. But we all have to kind of adapt to our togetherness around this one person, and it can be exhausting. Anyone else? Sharon?
We have the same sister.
I had an event one time that I was with my in-laws who are no longer alive, so I can talk freely about them. And as soon as we started eating, I had made this brisket, which I thought that they would like, and it was a recipe of a friend of mine. And my father-in-law, who's really picky about food, and just started complaining about how terrible it was, how terrible this tasted. And I said, "Oh, I got it from my friend who's a really good cook, this recipe, and I thought it tasted pretty good." And he said, "Well, you shouldn't get recipes from people who don't know how to cook." And I mean, it just went on and on. It went on and on.
Oh, Lord.
And I just got silent, I just went into my silent mode because I just wanted to protect myself. But that was kind of typical of that person. So I was always the same thing. You kind of feel anxious when you know that you're going to some sort of event or dinner,
Yes.
and that person's going to be there. Yeah.
Did he have seconds?
No, he wanted anyway, he wanted somebody to make him something else.
Well, that wasn't going to happen, was it?
Cereal.
Oh,
Cereal.
like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Listen, that sounds like some had somebody in school.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Developed
Yeah.
skills in themselves.
Hey, Darla. Sorry, you're right on time.
Oh, good.
And then Cari, tell the story just to start off about your friend that you had dinner with last night. Cari was talking about what we were going to talk about today. And
Yeah.
So
I was with two of my girlfriends last night, and I was saying, I'm doing this talk and it's so timely about effective communication. There's always somebody around the holidays, you're at a party or it's a family get together, and there's always, someone who's pushing buttons or, causing a scene or, can be so negative. And my one friend said, "Oh, that never happens. No, ours are fine." And I said, "Mary, maybe you're the problem." And it did kind of quiet her down. And then we all laughed.
okay, so here we go. So the holiday season, we're specifically talking about this whole topic right now because the holiday season can just be more of a challenge in general. And I think I really wanted to have just a slide to say that, because I think that sometimes we feel alone in that we're more tired, maybe we're more lonely, we're more irritable, or that our functions that we have or that we go to sometimes don't turn out to be like a Hallmark movie. right? And we feel like, well, everybody else is having a Hallmark family, a Hallmark movie, and we aren't. And then it feels like there's something the matter with us. So I just want to normalize that the holiday events and the season is not always a Hallmark movie, and that it's normal to have interactions that aren't perfect. That's just the way families are. And that's the way it is when you're in line, at Target and people are cutting in front of you and are irritable. And it's just everywhere. It's not just with families. We're kind of getting it a little bit. And then with things that are going on in the world right now, we've got that coming in at us all the time too. So there's a lot going on in the holiday season. And so don't feel like you're alone with that. So I'm gonna get rid of this thing. So, what makes the holidays more difficult? Family members come together, and when family members come together, there's a reminder of old hurts and resentments that we carry, and sometimes we don't even remember what they are, but we just kind of have this funny feeling inside of us when we're around that person. I know with my kids, my daughter probably, I'd say every other year when we get together for Christmas or Thanksgiving, she brings up to my son how he, broke into her piggy bank when I'm not sure when they were like, I don't know, 9 and 10 or something. She brings it up pretty much, every couple years. Um, and then personalities. We're together with people that we're not always normally together with. We're not people that we choose to be together with daily. And so there can be a clash of personalities with people who have different views and biases and beliefs and values. We're kind of thrown together in a small space. Everything is more crowded at the holiday season. It's harder to go shopping. It's more busy on the roads. That crowded feeling can just kind of amp us up a little bit. And then the high expectations we have of the Hallmark movie and of how things are going to be and how we're going to have, love and connection and all of that. We worry about financial issues because we're spending more money. We're spending more money on food, on gifts, on events that we're going to. We're all doing too much, which causes stress and anxiety. Sometimes, and this is an important one, sometimes we're doing too little. We don't have family around. We have people that we've loved that have passed away, and we have memories of what the holidays used to be like with them. We're writing holiday cards, and there's so many people that we have in our book that are no longer with us. So it can be a lonely time, and we don't always have an event to go to that we're going to enjoy. And then self-care can go out the window. We're eating differently. We're drinking maybe more alcohol or more sweet Martinelli type things than we used to. That can make us not feel so great. Sometimes not you guys, but some people are getting less exercise and less sleep. And I've already noticed, with my friends that I've talked to, people are already not sleeping quite as well as they normally do. So that's a lot,
And the weather.
And the weather, it's dark in the morning. It's when we get up, it's dark at night. That's not moving.
Say high expectations made me think of my mom, who had the Hallmark moment in her head.
Yeah. Yes.
Table settings.
Yes.
Supposed to look like, oh no, that's forecast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So she could never.
Right. And when the one person's anxious, it kind of ripples out, doesn't it?
And scene.
So today we're going to discuss techniques to help us deal with difficult people and situations. And also, Cari's going to talk about using motivational interviewing techniques to better communicate. These skills can be used not just with our families, but also out in the community when we're out dealing with stress, when we're shopping. Ways to better interact with difficult or stressed people. First of all, as I've already mentioned, reframe your expectations. Be aware of any expectations you have for the day and your expectations of other people's behavior, and lower your expectations. You don't have to lower your expectations all the way down to the bottom rung of the ladder, but maybe the middle of the ladder. Keep your expectations right there rather than at the top of the ladder. And challenge negative thoughts and look for the situation from a different perspective. And, we expect it to be, this way with our family, everybody's laughing. And then sometimes this is how it turns out to be on the right. But
I think they are.
yeah. I don't think I've had that happen, but maybe close. Yeah, the problem is with that group, they've got too many pumpkins there. And they're all dressed like a pumpkin.
That's what they're from.
That's the problem. There's too many, orange and rust colored. The wall is like a pumpkin. It's exhausting. But what I was going to say is challenge your negative thoughts and look at the situation from a different perspective. And one of the ways that I am going to look at Thanksgiving and Christmas this year is I was listening to Michelle Obama, and she was talking about how she's getting older and she has, probably just like 20 summers left, And I thought, well, I'm 70 and my parents lived to be 80. And if I'm lucky, I'll live another 10 years. And I thought, I've really only got 10 more Thanksgivings, And when you think of it that way, I don't really care what happens. I don't care if my kids are fighting about the piggy bank. I don't care if nobody wants to eat the whatever I cook. I just have 10 more left, And so I'm going to just enjoy it, enjoy the show if it's a show. So, change your perspective, look at things from a different way.
Are your guys' Thanksgiving vegan?
No, it's a mixture. My kids are not. They're big meat eaters, but I am. And my boyfriend that comes with me also is. So we have a mixture of things. Yeah. So real families bicker, argue, and occasionally hide in the bathroom, scrolling through their phones or needing to take a quick dash to the car to look for something. So, people are trying to find their space and calm down, and, that's the norm. Do you know how to get rid of these little green things up here? It's really driving me crazy. No, that's better. Okay. So better ways to interact. So detach, use mindfulness techniques. So when you see something going on, that thing that's going on is there and you are here, and don't immerse yourself in other people's stuff. So enjoy the show, but detach. Keep yourself anchored and centered. And you can actually say this to yourself: detach, detach, detach. Take breaks. Go to the bathroom for 10 minutes. Go to the car to look for wrapping paper, whatever it is, give yourself some time if you're feeling kind of amped up, to take a little break. Also, if you know that this particular event, you've seen it before, is after a while, people start getting irritable, you can set your time limit on how long the event's going to be. You can say this is going to be from 12 to 2 or something like that, because I have to go elsewhere or whatever. So you can set some limits on your exposure time. If you do encounter a situation where people are starting to get irritable or get into a political debate of some sort, you can change the subject or redirect. And I put this little quote in here: if someone starts a political debate, loudly announce that you smell something burning. And everybody will be, up and looking around.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's brilliant.
Good. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Put a couple on it.
And ring the bell.
And then that's when you want to change subject.
Yeah.
Or you have something to say.
Uh-huh.
And then you can get the attention.
Have you done that before?
Yeah,
How does that work?
works great.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden it brings focus to the group. Because usually you get 5 conversations going.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
all of a sudden gotta come together.
Right. You're more connected.
I like that
I like
idea.
that, yeah.
Can you repeat it? For Zoom?
The comment was that using a bell, setting 2 bells at the table, because many times what happens during the holidays is people are all talking all at once and you're kind of separated, not as a group, or people are you can feel that people are starting to talk about things that are probably going to get people irritable. And so you can ring the bell and that kind of brings everybody together.
Or does it make your hand?
Yeah.
No, you have to find the right time.
Time. Timing is important with the bell and also not doing it in their face.
It's a very subtle.
Very subtle, just a little ring. And you have to have that look too.
Oh, yeah, that goes far.
Yeah,
I feel pretty. quick.
Yeah.
I just want to add that when you gave the example of somebody who didn't like the food
yes,
and how you said, this is terrible food.
yeah,
What, I'm trying to understand, but if you're at the receiving end of that, it's much easier if you personalize your experience. So you say, I just don't like vegan food.
yeah,
And it's not that you're accusing
Right.
somebody of doing something bad,
right.
because this is kind of arbitrary. But.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, so
personal.
the comment was that it's better if you can use I statements, really. You know, I don't eat vegan food. I'm not used to it. Instead of the you are not a good cook. You don't cook good food, that kind of thing. Mhm. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
I love this one. I do this one. Use humor, sharing funny family memories. Have some stories in your head ready at hand before you go to the event. Um, the actual of that story about, this food tastes terrible has become a funny family story. It's become funny and it's brought up many times and many more of the details come in and it brings us all together. One time we had to, my husband at the time decided, and this is typical of him, that while I was, cooking, get everything ready, he decided we needed to clean the oven. So he cleaned the oven, but this oven goes, it's the type of oven that goes when you press the button to clean it, it goes
Yes.
into lockdown for
Yeah.
like 5 hours.
At 500 degrees?
Yeah,
Yes.
it goes into lockdown. You can't open the oven. So I didn't have any way to cook the turkey now. So, but this has become a huge funny family story. So the neighbors who were out of town, she was going out of town. I saw her outside. I said, could we use your oven to do some cooking for Thanksgiving? She said, yeah, she said, but I'm a vegetarian, so as long as you don't cook anything that's meat. And I said, oh no, it's just gonna be pies. And as soon as she was gone, we took the turkey in a wheelbarrow over to the and then I had to scrub the whole kitchen and air it out. This whole thing, I was in there for hours. I had to do this deep cleaning. Anyway, so that has become a huge funny story. It wasn't that funny, I'm telling you though, when I discovered that the oven was locked down. That was not funny.
No wonder you got in your
So I'm taking up too much time because Carrie's okay, so do not get pulled into other people's stress and behavior. Contain. Sometimes I just say that word, contain. I'm just going to contain myself here in my anchored self. Take a deep breath and then take a deep breath and then take another deep breath. That breathing really does help. It slows you down. It causes a pause before you say or do anything. Ways to better interact with difficult or stressed people. We talked about this with Mike and Cari and I. Do some preemptive planning prior to a holiday get together. Discuss with the invitees taboo topics to avoid. We're not going to talk about, well, what are some topics that you guys think it would, politics, what else? Religion. Mm-hmm. Any other things?
gossip.
Gossip, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Childhood stories.
seems like everyone has a different version in it.
Yeah, it starts an argument, or it can be
Yeah.
funny, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like, remember when you, and it was like, I wasn't even
Yeah.
there.
So maybe with your group, because with my group, it tends to be funny, but if you know in your group that that's a triggering thing,
Yeah.
then discuss beforehand. We're not going to discuss, childhood stories where people felt that they were slighted. So this helps to set the tone for the party. It clarifies expectations. And Cari's going to talk about a lot of these things, but when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody that's difficult, let them know that you trust them and that you're trying to create a relationship with them. And that comes from respecting their personal space, not getting right, in there, keeping a distance. Uh, Notice your body language, whether you're, trying to have a more of an open body language. Notice your voice, using a calm, slower, low-pitched voice. Just me doing that right now, didn't it all just make you feel a little bit calmer? So it makes a huge difference. Be aware of your own biases and emotional state. Are you kind of amped up? Are you kind of irritable? Do you need to take some deep breaths? Do you need to change the way that you're thinking? Lower some of your expectations. Avoid use of provoking language. You should, those kinds of things. Have a positive regard for the person, and that the person can feel that, even if you're not saying anything, they can feel, how you feel about them. And that's important. And the way that how do you have a positive regard for a person that you're kind of annoyed with? How do you do that? Any ideas?
Well, you probably have some good shared history, or you wouldn't.
Right.
Be
There's
at the table.
probably some memories that warm your heart or that make you laugh. I know with my father-in-law and that whole, this food is no good, there were many things that I like about him. And so you bring those to the front and center, and then that changes
Yeah.
how you're interacting and even looking at the person.
And I think going into it, like knowing what your body language is going to be, because I can tell you, it's so easy to do the eye roll
Or
or being closed off.
yeah.
It just takes those nonverbal cues with your body sends tons of messages out. So just being aware of that can maybe de-escalate or diffuse any potential stuff that could be happening.
Yeah. And so Cari, I'm going to turn this over to Cari now. She's going to talk about using motivational interviewing technique.
So let's talk about some specific, well, I could have gotten up, skills or strategies to use when in a difficult conversation. And the end game, of course, is to avoid that explosion. Because I know all of you at some point must have been in a room where someone just loses it, right? And it's usually that family member. And that's the one thing you want to avoid, because then it just changes the whole vibe of the evening. Not good. So basics to remember when trying to avoid a conflict: we don't want to poke the bear, do we? So if you have, you're having Thanksgiving dinner and that one sister is going to be there, and I love her, she is my sister, but I'm going to go in kind of thinking like, I'm not going to go in and say, you wore those shoes? No, not going to poke the bear, but I'm going to go in with a very preconceived notion on how I'm going to approach her. Right? I'm going to already kind of practice and have things ready to go. So to avoid any type of conflict that could arise. So you got to think about the acronym RULE, and this is part of motivational interviewing, but this applies with everyday communication. We want to resist the writing reflex. So if you're talking to someone, you don't want to be like, Sharon, I told you that brisket wasn't any good. I told you. It's the writing reflex. Sometimes, especially, sometimes I think of moms, I think of nurses. A lot of times it's hard to not do that writing reflex. The U is understanding motivations, like I try to understand my sister's motivation. And I know it kind of comes from, you know, we always said she was the middle child syndrome, but she's had a lot of stuff happen in her life, and just trying to be more understanding of what motivates her, and kind of thinking about that in terms of her point of view versus what's happening to me. And then the L is listen with empathy. So when I say empathy, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know what empathy is? It's when you're really conveying understanding. Not that, oh, I understand, but it's your body, it's the things you say, it's the way you embrace and sit alongside somebody to express an understanding of what they're going through. It goes a long way. Leading with empathy can go a very long way. And then the E is empower. So when you think about empowering, when I'm thinking specifically about my sister, like I want to bring her in, and I want to have her make choices, and I want to include her and empower her in this social setting. Then see how that works. Okay. So let's just imagine Uncle Fester. We all have an Uncle Fester, right? You guys know who Uncle Fester is? Uncle Fester walks in the room, and he's already in a foul mood. And I'm thinking, I've got 10 things going on here for Thanksgiving. And Uncle Fester walks in, and, what do you want to run and hide? Yes. Can you? No. But that has to start with you. It has to start with me. He's coming into my Thanksgiving dinner. He was invited. He's kind of that wild card, right? And he's coming in not happy. And so it has to start with me. And I'm going to just lead with empathy. I'm going to convey that I am really happy that he's there. And I want to understand if there's something kind of going on, you know, where is this mood coming from? So meeting Uncle Fester where he's at, not where I want him to be. I want him to be all happy and ready to go and happy Thanksgiving, but that's not where Uncle Fester's at. So I have to meet him where he's at. Does that make sense? Okay. So expressing empathy, what does that look like? And we always kind of talked about this in my job as getting in the boat with somebody. Like you're never walking in front of somebody, or you're not walking behind them. You're walking alongside, or you're getting in the boat with them. Expressing empathy is really walking alongside someone. Okay. And so if you're in the boat with them with understanding and expressing empathy, you can propel conversations forward with oars if you're in the boat, right? And so what are oars? These are really great ways to have effective communication and keep communications open. And it starts with the O is open-ended questions. And we'll go through some of these. Affirmations, reflective listening, and summary statements. So oars, if you just remember oars, it's a great way to propel conversations forward. Okay, so like some open-ended questions. So I see Uncle Fester coming in that foul mood, and I may say something like, I wouldn't say a yes or no question, like, I would want to approach it with an open-ended question, something like, tell me, what are your thoughts about being together for this Thanksgiving dinner? What are your thoughts? Like something's up. So what are your thoughts? And that may be just enough for him to fuse any kind of anxiety he has, or it may be kind of a way to de-escalate whatever's happening with him. So open-ended questions are great. Tell me about what your thoughts are on this. Affirmations, and that's just giving positive to recognize and acknowledge that which is good, and recognize a behavior change to support and encourage. Okay, so like Uncle Fester, I'm so glad to see you. You're the one that everyone looks so forward to seeing at Thanksgiving dinner. You got such great stories. When you start off with affirmations and affirming, it automatically diffuses. It makes people feel at ease. So starting off with Uncle Fester coming in grumpy, I'm asking him open-ended questions. I'm giving him affirmations, and whatever he says to me, I want to reflect back to him because that conveys that I'm listening. It conveys that I'm understanding. If he's telling me, oh, I'm anxious because blah, 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 and I don't know that I really want to be here. Well, for me to do a reflective listening, which means I'm just parroting back what he's telling me, it conveys truly understanding. So it may be something like, oh, I get it. You have a lot on your plate and you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed with whatever, like taking care of your sick parents right now. Oh, that must be very difficult for you. So now I'm really conveying. And so here's an open-ended question. What are your thoughts about staying for just a little bit of time? And then if you're still feeling stressed, just go. We just want to see you and be with you. So I'm already giving him some options. I'm expressing empathy. I'm giving him affirmations and I'm asking him what his thoughts are. Not, do you want to stay? No. Well, the conversation's over. But what are your thoughts about? And that way that gives him some choices as well. And then there's summarizing at the end of having a conversation with Uncle Fester. And that's just kind of summarizing the conversation. Okay, so this is the plan. You'll stay for at least an hour. And if you're okay with calling the resources that I provided for you to help you with caregivers for your parents or whatever. Can you tell me your thoughts about that plan? Like, are you okay with staying for at least that hour? And that will give him an opportunity to say, yes, that sounds like a good plan. Or, you know what, Cari, I'm only staying for a half hour. That's a great plan. Let's just make it just a half hour. And you know what? We're happy to get as much as we can with you. So, like, take yourself, like, I'm thinking about the interactions I have with my one sister. And this is such a gentle approach. And it is a way to diffuse any type of anxiety or chaos or whirlwind that's kind of brewing. It's a way to really kind of diffuse that, or if nothing else, minimize it. And it could be the difference between that explosion or not. You want to do this?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. So phrases to consider using. I love these phrases. This is Sharon's slide. Something like, I want to understand what you're feeling or what you're thinking. It's important to me. How can people not respond to that? That's such an open question. I'm going to listen to every word so we can figure out what to do about this. Tell me more about that. You're really stressed because you're taking care of your sick parents? That must be a lot. Tell me more. How's that making you feel? I would like to learn more about what is concerning you. Please help me understand what you need. These are great phrases. Tell me if I have this right. Can you tell me more about that? I can see how much this has affected you. Again, we're expressing empathy. We're giving affirmations. These are reflective as well. I'm hearing that you are really blank about this, that you're really concerned about this, angry about this, whatever. But you're conveying that you see what's happening here. Anything that causes the patient or the client or your friend or your family to explain and explore rather than argue will help lower that confrontational level. And isn't that what we want? That's exactly what we want. That's a really good slide. I might keep that one. So Sharon and I wanted to role play, and then, maybe we'll all role play a little bit. So I'm having Thanksgiving dinner and I'm a little stressed, but I'm very happy. I haven't started the wine yet. That's okay, but people are coming in and I see Uncle Fester coming in. And he doesn't want to be there.
There are so many people here. I don't want to be here. This is a lot.
Oh, hi, Uncle Fester. I'm really, I get it. No, I get it. There's a lot of people, but let me just tell you, I am so happy to see you. It's really important for me that you're here today. Um, can you tell me kind of what's going on? What are your thoughts about being here? Why? What's
Well,
happening?
I'm okay seeing you, but the other people here, I don't, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to even sit with them.
You know what? I get that. When you're around people that you're not really that familiar with or that they're annoying, it's hard. It's really hard to be around them. I get that. Let me just tell you, a lot of the people here have said they were looking forward to seeing you. What are your thoughts about staying for maybe about an hour? Just have some appetizers. You don't have to stay the whole time. What are your thoughts about at least hanging out for a little bit?
I guess I could do an hour.
Okay, okay, let's do that. We'll hang out. Let me get an appetizer tray for you. If you need to leave earlier, that's absolutely fine. We are happy, and I can only speak for myself.
I
I'm
don't
very
really like appetizers.
okay. Get the hell out then.
Or that vegan stuff? No.
Yeah. I made something very special for you because I knew that you were coming. And you know what? You don't have to have any appetizers. We're just happy. Who's that? Oh, we're just happy that you're here.
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, did Uncle Fester come in?
So he's leaving. That's right, he slammed the door.
Oh, so that kind of, what?
Why you?
Because he's my uncle.
I have good stories.
So you guys want to role play? Try it. Try it. I'll be someone's Uncle Fester. No?
Just if you just take one thing from the lecture, like to do with Cari, say, okay, I'm gonna ask Cari open-ended questions. You know,
Yeah.
just have that in your head. I'm gonna ask an open-ended question. There's a lot, we've talked about a lot. So you just have that one thing to start with. I think that would be helpful.
And you know what? The best way, I used it all the time. All the time. Tell me your thoughts. Blah, 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 blah. Tell me your thoughts on this lecture. What are your thoughts? Not like, did you like it or not? Because that's, no, I didn't like it. Or yeah, it was okay. But tell me your thoughts about the lecture. Tell me your thoughts about being here at Thanksgiving dinner. Tell me your thoughts about quitting smoking. That was what I did in my other life. And boy, I got the blowback with that one. So tell me your thoughts. Really conveys that I want to know. And I'm not going to get a yes, no. It's not going to be a shut down. So can someone ask me a question, an open-ended question, and just even using, tell me your thoughts.
Hi, Carrie. I'm glad you came to the dinner today. But you look like maybe, is everything okay? Are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. You didn't ask.
I don't know.
Say, tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
That's better.
yeah. I'm a little miffed that Aunt Millie's here and she never returned the baking pan she borrowed from me.
Back in 1997.
Yeah, so just tell me then let's go talk to Aunt Millie because I think it's probably just a misunderstanding. It's gonna be fine. Let me help with that. I mean, does everybody
Well,
have
tell me more about what that baking pan meant to you.
oh
You know,
yeah.
That's an open.
because it's a big, there's some sort of issue there.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or ideas or
Something
any
Millie could do to make it up for you?
what?
Is there something Millie could do to make it up for you? Since she has no idea where the baking pan is.
Yeah. She's been a lost cause for a long time.
Is something I could do to make it up to you. Can I get you anything?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Does everybody have like someone in mind, like coming up on the holidays? Or does everyone have that Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving?
Well, I know what you're talking about, but right now my Thanksgiving will be very small with just my daughter and grandchildren. So it
Yeah.
won't be, so there won't be, two kinds of issues.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
nice.
but I've been to, I mean, in my previous life and when I was, when the kids were all growing up, we had these great big Thanksgivings and there were always, I remember some of my uncles, who probably didn't drink very much, but they would drink too much at Thanksgiving. I remember one of them fell down one time and it was just, I remember once my grandma didn't put any sugar in the pumpkin pie. Well, that's a good family story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
great.
just keep in mind that later, whatever happens later, it's gonna be a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think my mother used to get super uptight about trying to, about every holiday. I mean, that part of that was just her nature. She was really always wound pretty tight and, but it kind of made everybody else feel stressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like trying to stay out of her way. You want to help, but nothing you do is right. You know that feeling.
It changes the vibe. Yes, it changes the vibe. That reminds me of Passover, a Passover dinner we had. This was at my in-laws' house. This is probably 10 years ago. And Stan Lipschitz was coming. And my mother-in-law, it was a childhood friend of my father-in-law. And he was kind of a funny guy. And my mother-in-law really did not like him. And she likes everybody. But anyway, Stan wasn't feeling well. Stan wasn't feeling well at the Passover table. And he was walking with a walker at that time. And he had to excuse himself a few times from the table and use the restroom. And the last time he said, I need to go home. And so like right after dinner, someone took him home. Well, I shouldn't have used his real name, but he's no longer with us. But Stan Lipschitz had an accident on my mother-in-law's nice chairs. And oh my gosh, it's the best story that we talk about. At the time, it was like, oh gosh, it was just so stressful at the table because you didn't know what he was going to say. And you know that he was having bowel issues. And oh my Lord. And it was, oh, I totally forgot about that till just right now. Anyway, we all have our stories, don't we? And on that note, hopefully everybody has a very peaceful, quiet, loving Thanksgiving coming up.
And remember, you can use these things, the open-ended questions, the empathy, out in the world when you're shopping, when you're at Target and you're around people who are irritable and, keeping those things in mind, the positive affirmations you can use with people, open-ended questions, empathy, believing that they're having a really bad day, you don't know we never know what's going on with other people, right? So giving them a little grace.
Yeah. Is that the last one?
Yep. Any questions from those at home? Or comments? Tell me your thoughts at home. Tell me your thoughts about the lecture.
What questions do you have for
What
me?
questions do you have?
That's open-ended. Oh, there's a lot of people.
I can hear anything. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Did you have something to say, Suzanne or Mark?
No, I was just gonna say, I was just gonna say, are you available to attend the family dinner? You know,
When can I pencil you in?
Carrie,
Yeah.
it's Tony. Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, I was just thinking, sometimes I think silence or counting to 10 before you say something. You know, if somebody irritates you at Thanksgiving,
Yep.
just kind of take a deep breath and say, hey, that's their issue, not mine. I'm going to have a good time.
And actually, you know what, Sharon did kind of talk about that pause before addressing something or just letting it slide. That
Right.
really good strategy.
Say that you're gonna take 3 breaths.
Yep.
3 slow breaths before you speak. Just have that
Yes.
rule in your head before you go into the event.
But thank you. It was very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you guys.
Have a good turkey day.
Thank you, you too. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Like I said, I was